Hi guys, welcome back to Photoshop for web developers. My name is Neil Pearce, and in this lesson we're going to focus on the recent work section. It's going to be pretty straightforward, and we're just going to use 3 examples. So if you haven't, or if you have got some nice examples you want to put into this section, then open them up in Photoshop now. Doesn't matter what size they are, and we're going to resize them down using the same techniques as we did in our image slider. And then we're going to add a little drop border, little subtle effect there, obviously our text. Then we're going to finish off creating our button. Okay, so jump back to where we were then, last lesson. What I've done, I've added, bring the guys back, I've added text, same services that we've got here. I didn't want to go through that in the last lesson because it's a bit mundane, because you all know how to type. And I've just used some guides, drag them from the top down so we can get our text nice and aligned, nice and centered, our icons nice and centered. Okay, so let's hide our guides, and then what we're going to do is obviously we need our recent works divider. Okay, so we're going to add that in like we did before. We're going to select this services divider in our layers palette, and we're going to choose the move tool, shift alt key down, and we're just going to click and drag down. Then we're going to open that up and change that to recent works. Okay, and then it's capital W, yeah. And then using our move tool, just going to shift that over with our arrows on our keyboard. Right, so let's change that then quickly to recent divider, and then drag that down to the bottom. Then select the background layer, and then choose the rectangle marquee tool, layers tools panel. Change the foreground to white. And then we're going to open up our info character palette. So open that up, F8, and then we're going to look down here, and we're going to drag out a selection that's about 300 by 190 high, so 300 wide but 190 high. Doesn't have to be spot on. Okay, that'll do. And then we're going to fill out with white with the paint bucket tool. And before we do that, we need to create a new layer. So create a new layer. I'm going to call that BG. Then fill that. Control D to deselect. Okay, so then open up your 3 examples of your work. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the rectangle marquee tool, and then I'm going to select top half of this, and then I'm going to go down to edit, copy merge. Now as you can see, copy merged, we can't do it, it's blanked out. Reason is we haven't unlocked this layer, so just remember to grab the icon and just the lock icon up top here, and just drag it down into the bin. Once it's unlocked, then you can go to edit, down to copy merged. Okay, then go to back to your rectangle, and then hold down Control and click on that layer. Bring up as a selection. Then what we're going to do, we're going to add a 5 pixel border around this. So what we want to do is to contract this selection. So we can do that by going up to select, sorry, then down to modify, then over to contract, and then we're going to contract this by 5 pixels. So click OK. Then we're going to go out to edit, down to paste special, and paste into. Before we lock this, we just want to press Ctrl T on a keyboard to bring up the transform tool, and just going to grab on the corners and just resize that down how we see fit, how we want it to look. Okay, looks good to me. Okay, that excellent. So next up then we want to create that little drop border, and and we can do that very easily by copying this BG layer, by clicking and dragging it down into the new layer icon. Then with the move tool selected, we just want to move that down and across. Then we want to bring the opacity down to about 17%. Okay, that doesn't look like that needs to come down a bit more. Okay, so easy enough. Lock this image, rename that image, the layers palette. We'll call this border, and then we want to select the border and the BG and just use our duplicate skills by holding down the Shift and Alt key, and with the move tool selected, and get our 2 arrows and just drag that across, let go, and click and drag again. Bring back our guides, make sure that this one is positioned right at the edge of that guide. Okay, so what we can do now is to make sure these are horizontal centered. We can group them together, drag that one down to there, because that's that one, isn't it? First one. So group that together, and then group that one together, then group that one together. Okay, so it should be that one, that one, that one. Select all the groups and then distribute horizontal centers. Excellent, so looks good to me. In fact, those two need to be pushed up slightly. Okay, brilliant. Right, so again, do the same what we did before. Select a part of this. You don't have to select a part of it, you can actually just bring it all in. Copy merged. Hide our guides, get in my way. What's that, group 2? Open up group 2. Click on the BG layer, not the border, the BG layer. Select, modify, contract 5 pixels, edit, paste special, paste in 2. Control T, then to shift that in, holding down the shift key, remember, and then looks good to me. Then we'll quickly do that for the next one. Again, unlock the layer, drag it down into the lock icon into the bin, edit, copy merged, select modify, contract 5 pixels, edit, paste special, and paste into. That needs to go above that. Above that actually. And then drag that down. Okie dokie. So that's them done. Just rename these layers appropriately, otherwise you'll get confused later on. And we'll call this food for thought. Food for thought. And we'll call this one retro. And lock that image, and this one will be creative style. Okay, then select all the groups together, group those, and just call that recent works. So now you're all organised in your layers palette, and as a designer we hand this over to the developer, front-end developer, and they'll think, oh great, it's all nice and grouped, layers all named appropriately and no confusion. Okay, so next up then is just to add our text. Okay, so just add text underneath there. We need to choose the Seago UI, so open up your recent works group in your layers palette. We're going to use the use creative style first. Set the top layer, choose Seago UI, and there, 14 pixels. And then type out creative design, style, sorry, and we'll say design, and then we'll move that to the center. Then we'll give this some layer styles, just open that up, the blending modes. In fact, we'll change the colour of this first to a dark grey, and then open up the layer palette, open up your layer styles for that layer, and then we're going to give it a drop shadow, and change it blend mode to normal, white, and do 1, 0, and turn it right up, and that looks good to me, so okay that, and we'll just copy that and drag it over, and we'll do it again for that one. This one needs to go in food for thought. This one needs to go into retro. Call that retro. Oops. So we did the development on this. Let's shift it over, make sure it's nice and center. Then open up our last one. And say food for thought. And we'll say design again. Right, so that's pretty straightforward. Don't know if I need to just show you that, but all we need to do now then is to add our button at the bottom there. And we're done. So if we just select our background layer again, add a new layer, and then we'll use the rectangle marquee tool again. We'll change the foreground to the brown that we used in our menu, and turn off web safe colors. I should make the dark brown in the hover state there, and then we'll bring back our guides and we'll just drag it out from there to there. Fill that with the paint bucket tool, and again we'll make a copy of this. Just drag that into the new layer icon, and we'll just move it down and across, and bring down the opacity to 17%, or actually we'll do it 20. Take our layers or guides away. Look at this. Needs to use the transform tool. Just need to squeeze that up and put them a little bit longer. And yeah, it's very subtle border. We'll just bring that down slightly a bit more, and then we'll just bring the opacity up, I think, because it's a bit darker. Yeah, that'll do ya. Okay, so then just add your text, and we're going to use our lobster. So choose lobster. We'll have the colour white, and just type in, what do we say, view, recent works, see all works. So see all works, and just open up your characters palette, the A there, or go to window, down to character, and just going to increase the font, just click and drag that up, and then position that with your arrow tools, using the V key on your keyboard to activate the move tool, and perhaps we'll just give that a bit of a italic, and then I want to bring that down a little bit more, take the italic off. Okay, so it's just about fiddling about with that, getting it how you want it to look, and I'm happy with that. It's needs to come over slightly, get rid of that layer because I don't know how that got there. Okay, then while I've got these selected, just group these together and let's call this button, and then we're going to add that to our recent works folder. So just drag it up into that, and then that should be all tucked away nicely, all nicely aligned and named, and all ready for the next lesson. We're going to create the footer. Okay, so as you can see, we need to increase the canvas size slightly. We'll show how to do that, and then we'll crack on with the footer. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next lesson.